All right, what up, YouTube? This is No Cap, No Filter. I'm your host, Malik G, back at y'all another episode of Run It With You. And today we're going to run it about men and why men are choosing to stay single. I've been reading and I've been looking at some statistics and things of that nature that come up on my timeline sometimes. And they said one of the fastest growing demographics are men that's being single. And I think a lot of that has to do with a lot of men are being incels. I think a lot of that has to do with the dating climate. I think a lot of that has to do with female standards has risen due to social media. I think a lot of that has to do with the culture of Western women. I think a lot of that has to do with the cost of living in this economy. I think that has a lot to do with a lot of women are just like in an echo chamber and they're mimicking a lot of the same behaviors of other women that is toxic and that behavior just isn't the quote unquote standard for what a man wants in a relationship that's long term and healthy. Catch my drift. um so I think a lot of men are throwing in the towels. Like, we ain't even much gonna talk about the incel. We ain't much gonna talk about the men that's actually, has bad social skills, not good looking, inside all day, probably don't do nothing but be on the internet, probably don't do nothing but doing, just unproductive things. Oh, they can be productive, but they just not good with women. We ain't even gonna count them. We're gonna count the men that actually all have the ability to, achieve multiple dates with women. But I think what those men are running into is the lack of good women to choose from, the lack of good pickings of the litter, the lack of, just good prospects in general. Now, I do believe if you are a man and you following your goals and you're on your mission, you're working out in the gym, you're working on your hygiene, you're working on the best haircut for you, you're working on your social skills, being a leader, you're either working on that or you already have that together. You already have a good social circle and a good friend group, and you're probably in the right places. I think your chances of finding a good woman are way more in your favor than a man who's just chasing ass. A man who's just chasing ass ultimately just gonna have to look up into a good woman. I don't really just too much believe in the universe and karma, but I do believe in putting yourself in the right position to have success. And I think the right position to have success is putting yourself in the right rooms, putting yourself in the right circles, being on the right path. If you're doing that, the odds of you finding a good woman is just basically going to attract to you. You are what you attract. If you a dude and you going to the clubs, you drinking, you smoking, you partying, you just looking for ass, you just looking for ass, you just looking for ass, you ain't really worried about nothing of substance, nothing of a real relationship, you're not going to find a woman that's ideal for a healthy long-term relationship. You're going to find a lot of the same women, and then you're going to be wondering why, damn, why all women the same? Because you basically seeing the the worst representations of the woman. It's almost like a prostitute. They're going to see the worst representation of men because they're going to put themselves in rooms and positions and circles to be around the most nastiest, doggish of men. Now, let's just say the men who are on the right track and the right path. It's still it's still a tough economy out here. Like even if you're on that right path, even if you're doing all the right things, you got a good roster of, some good candidates of women that you might take it to the next level with. The economy is it's tough to raise a family right now. If you making six figures, you could do it. If your girl adding to the table, you could do it. But if you doing it on your back and you making under six figures, especially if your girl got expensive taste, if your children got expensive taste in certain foods, if your children got expensive taste in clothes, they like certain latest of tech, it's going to be expensive to raise a family. And certain men choose not to put themselves in that situation to have that burden on them until they financially set. And right now, the bar is more higher. This ain't like the 70s where a man could work a factory job and support a family of four and maybe even another family in another neighborhood somewhere uh, around town off of $40,000. This ain't that type of time. So to eliminate that burden, even if you do find you a good woman, a man kind of want to build themselves up a little bit more. Because one thing about a man, you absolutely gonna be loved and adored under certain conditions, and one of the conditions is the finances. You wouldn't even want a woman that just don't care about finances at all, because it's like, damn, how do you expect to raise a child? How do you expect to have a good healthy relationship without no money at all? You're gonna have to have some money to do certain things. It just is what it is. So now to the average guy, the average Joe out there, it's hard, man. Not to mention, you got all these different distractions for a woman. A woman gonna have to pick you when she has her DMs flooded. A woman gonna have to pick you when she's still getting hit on in real life, whether it's being the job, whether it's being the grocery store. You still gonna have to get picked. And if you like me, you ain't gonna want to be competing with too many people. We all competing out here one way or another in a dating market. We all competing. But if you got you a chick that's, she got Larry, Joe, Mike, and Charles to choose from, that might not be the chick you want. I'm the type of person, like, if I ain't your first choice, I ain't no choice. Because I don't want to be the second choice and having you thinking and second guessing yourself about me. Once Mad Day come out, once we get into an argument, you thinking like, oh man, I should have choose Brandon. You feel me? But yeah, man. I think the behaviors of women, I think the culture of boss chicks, now a lot of men they could accept they chick being a boss, but that's gonna come with certain tendencies. I see when a boss chick, some of these girls, they like to they have a more masculine energy than just the female housewife, feminine woman. They like to put their career first. They're money driven, so they're going to simultaneously be competing with you, whether they doing it what's the word, well, basically the word, whether they know it or not, subconsciously they're going to subconsciously be competing with you. Because if you're making 80,000 a year and she's making 80,000 a year, she's gonna feel like you're not on your shit. You need to be making twice as much as her, or at least, you know, if she making 80, you need to be making 100. Versus the housewife, she ain't really worried about what you making as long as the bills is taken care of. As long as she's not paying no bills and she just worried about the house. And some men rather deal with that. A man got to go out there and fight the world already as is. He don't want to come back and clash with his woman. So I think when it comes to those boss babe mentality girls, those boss chick girls, uh, I think the clashing of a couple under the roof be a problem when it comes to finances. I think they were about their career first instead of taking care of home first. It's almost kind of like what happened with the Halle Berry situation. You know, you were about your career, but we were like a home cooked meal up in here. It ain't got to be every day, but it's a certain love that come with a home cooked meal. Even if you got the money to afford a chef, even if you got the money to afford a maid, it's a certain nurturing effect. It's a certain love that comes with the woman actually cleaning, the woman actually making that meal. You feel me? So these boss chicks, a lot of them don't want to do it because they're at work all day and they come home tired. So by the time they come home, they ain't trying to cook, they ain't trying to clean. They've been out at work all day. So yeah, man, and a lot of people that's why they try to go overseas and get these women that's out the country, passport bros. But me, you got to watch them because they from third world countries, and a lot of them selling their body. They might be as feminine as you want, but a lot of them selling their body. And I'm the type of person, even if you did it once or twice, that's too much for me. You could have just jumped out there, seen it wasn't for you, and said, man, you know what? This ain't me. I can't mess with this. That's too much for me. You sold your body one time, that's too much for me. So a lot of these dudes, they go and get these quote unquote feminine good girls, but man, you best believe they probably sold their body a few times. And if you can sell your body, you evidently got a price. And if you got a price, somebody else can have you. And some might say, sure, everybody got a price as long everybody got a price, if they're in a certain predicament. But I think you ain't gotta go all the way overseas to get a nice, feminine, good woman. You just gotta just put yourself in those circles, man. You gotta switch your whole style up. Like if you getting all these results and you getting these same results, that's the definition of insanity. You gotta switch your whole style up. You gotta switch your whole circle up. But yeah, man. I think men pretty much choose to be single. I don't think women choose to be single. I think women hold the gateway to sex. I think men hold the gateway to relationships. We the one who gotta really just want to take it serious and get on that next level with you. We the one that gotta get down on our knees and propose to you. We the gateway to relationships. They the gateway to sex. We gotta do everything in order to prove that we worthy of sleeping with them. They gotta do everything in order to prove that they're worthy of our commitment. And our commitment is providing security and providing shelter. You know, so we're gonna have to protect them, and we're gonna have to, be responsible for them, financially. So, um, Yeah. So that's why I feel like men, we kind of like we more likely to have that real backing of us saying, "Oh, we single by choice." Because when a woman say they single by choice, it's not really you single by choice. You just don't want the man. The man that you want just don't want you back, basically. Because you got a lot of dudes will be in a relationship with you, but those are probably just the dudes who's lusting after you or just simping over you. But you don't really want those dudes. The dude you want already in a relationship, or he just don't want you because your behavior, or he just don't want you because he probably don't have a kid and you got a kid, or he just don't want you because he probably didn't got the Carfax on you. You know, so for the most part, I think if somebody met the right person, anybody will go ahead on and take a leap of faith and jump in a relationship. And some men are just not in a relationship because they was dogs and they just seen how women get down because they was the side niggas so many times. They seen the dark side of a woman. They seen how a woman could be sneaky. They seen how a woman could be evil. And a lot of them feel like that could be karma. They're gonna either get karma by them having a daughter and it's gonna happen to their daughter, or they're gonna get karma from it happening to them. But if it happened, every dog got his day. Everybody just gonna have to go through it, you know. Um, what else I wanted to touch on before I get up out of here? And I just had it in my head. Oh, yeah, a lot of men, they have that fear of, getting in a relationship and, just getting everything took from them because all the divorce rates that's going on. Like women initiate uh more percent of the divorces than men right now. So if you're a man and you have a lot of stuff going good for yourself, especially if you like an entrepreneur or some type of millionaire that's doing good, you're terrified to get in a marriage, because if a girl don't want to sign no prenup to me, then she just not the one already. Because if she was the one, that prenup wouldn't really matter to her, and she would understand because it's just coming from a place of logic. But if you're a regular guy and you don't want to get married, it's still a fear because you still gonna have to split some assets. You still probably gonna have to at least let her get the house. You still probably gonna have to let her get the car. And like who wants to go through a divorce anyway? So I think a lot of men are just the fear of losing out because the women they pretty much get incentivized to break up. A lot of women it's like the monkey branch thing. They just holding on to this monkey ball until they just go on to another monkey ball. And a lot of girls just think the grass green on the other side, and they just gonna level up and level up and level up. Okay, I had this caliber of man, I deserve this caliber of man. Now, I had this caliber of man, I deserve this caliber of man. And every time they break up, they leaving with something, especially if they coming out of a divorce with marriage because it's incentivized. They got kids by a man, ain't married. Well, you can at least get some child support. Got kids by a man, ain't married. Well, at least get some government assistance. So, yeah, man, it's not it's not incentivized for men to break up. That's why it's always been the saying: it's cheaper to keep them. But I want to know what y'all think, man. Let me know in the comment sections below, man. Why do y'all feel like men are choosing to be single these days? You know, we all know the dating pool. We all know it got more than piss in it. It got bleach in it. It got vinegar in it. It got a little gasoline in it. Like it got all type of stuff in it. A few turds, if you will. But I don't see it getting no better, man. I don't see it getting no better, especially with dating apps and the stuff that these influencers are influencing on women. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. But go ahead on and let me know down in the comment section below. Why do you feel like most men are choosing to be single? And is it not the men? Is it the women? You know, feel free to disagree with me. I'm out.